have done their fastest last sector, and just lost the rear, just keeps it off the wall. In that carry is hard on the brakes, praying he doesn't hit anything.
Thank you very much.
Plenty of miles in this category as well, as we check it out again. What happened in that first practice session.
Wow. He's actually very lucky. Just at the end there, you can see he's go to the top with a 2:08.1 as we get a replay. Oh no. And that's a big impact. Declan Fraser into the wall on the run down to the dipper. He didn't see that other side of the car.
So Nick Percat was having his own moment as well. So he got it onto the grass on the exit of the chase. Meantime, Macaulay's gone through their full-blown motocross style. Actually picked the rear wheels up off the deck.
It did, had the whole car off the ground. Going to go the full duration. Here it is, McPhillamy Park.
Got on the brakes hard and just needed about 2 or 3 meters more width in the track then to save that.
They built that new walkway just behind that wall for the pedestrian.
Definitely a pit to change the tyres and maybe have a look at the underwear, as we saw. Also, Clay Richards, son of Stephen, grandson of Jim Richards, having a spin at turn 1.
Difficult decision to make.
So just over the hump, car gets very taily, gets away from him, and then the inside wall. Clay having his first run up here at Mount Panorama. Too wide, didn't do enough to get back. And this is very similar to Jordan Boys. Oh, wow. So he's actually just...
Not sure where the Camaro's gone, but he's not there. And it gives a free run to Roll Harris, who bursts into wheel spin as he grabs second gear, and Jamie Tilley locks everything up and spears across the road. And it's the nearest of near misses. In the V8 Ute Racing Series. Turn 1, held corner. It's funny, isn't it, that the two most innocuous looking corners on the racetrack, 90-degree left hand.
Still trying to go too wide coming out of the chase.
Trying to collect the whole set. Job Stewart in on this fight now as well. Oh, big lock up from Vaughan. Wham! And that's unlucky for Job Stewart. And the ABS not working then under 3 spots already. Nobody's ever won a race from lower than 6. That's where he started as Vaughan with the big dive bomb on goals. And into the fence.
For the race this afternoon. Yeah, too much speed on the entry and potentially a little wide. You have to be careful for the run up there because the outside of the circuit before you turn in just...
Medicki and Wilkins now side by side.
Done this every race. You can't really you can't. Gray's gone around. Now this is big.
Hold on. Hopefully this car doesn't get back onto the racetrack.
Yeah, thankfully.
Wow, that was a wild moment. And
Stewart wasn't coming through. Needed to just close that door. Thornton around the outside. We saw Jamie Whincup try and do this.
And again, can he save it 3 times? No. Oh, no. There's going to be a few cars involved in this one. Dahlia, Cobon, Hayden Jackson weekend goes from bad to worse. And Thornton's stuck.
He was chasing down Stephen Johnson. It's a strange one, just a little bit wide.
A little bit wide, got the right rear tyre up onto the curb, onto the grass, trying to get the power down. And as you mentioned...
Johnson hit, and he's understeer wide. Fife's understeer wide. And heavy contact is damage on the right front. And that one's not going to make it back to pit lane.
What a shame.
For a qualifying run. Lots of things to play, and they've got to make quick decisions and smart decisions so that they're in the right place. Because if you qualify 10th, it makes your weekend really, really challenging.
How cool to have Jeff Emery also joining this weekend. And unfortunately for Jeff, he's overcooked it and gone for a spin. Hopefully he hasn't hurt those Michelin tyres in the process.
A red flag to recover that. Here's what happened. Off the rears by the looks of it. So is well into the corner. Here's a look. Black Objective Racing car run by McElroy Racing. Car sliding before he got to the middle part of the corner. Caught the initial slide, but then just go. All of the action's about to unfold.
One off in the background, and Stephen Grove keeps his boot in it and then escapes that gravel trap. Expertly done, got away with that one.
Kerry McMahon goes around to take the lead.
So there is local yellow flag.
Oh no!
Last corner, he spins in front of the field. And thankfully that car rolls off the track. And there was more damage in the background. The Jag now.
And damage. Oh, it's a DIY. He's off the road, into the fence.
Oh no. What a session that was. This is what happened.
He hit that inside curve there, and that sent him off to the next one. And the accident starts a long way up the road before you end up parked in the sand.
And he took Scott Taylor with him, so the two arguing over the same bit of road down there at turn 11.
Half looked like he appeared in the shot.
This trying to keep pace with Dave Russell.
On the inside, he's not, but Webster this time will shortcut. Couldn't hang on to the slide. And does it open the door?
Nah, he's on the curb, he got the curb. Seen many drivers do that over the years.
They run down to turn 2. Lewis Leeds is in there as well, and there's contact. Macro spins the double champ around, and Randall's horror day.
And then just down into this turn, is there contact with Macro and Hearn? Yep, around goes Tim. And then it compresses, and again Randall's involved in the compression at the same part of the track, and that's
this is what they're driving. He's got broken steering, so this is what happened to Thomas Randall's car
exactly
in race 1. Yep.
At the same spot of the track.
Correct. And it's literally one piece bolt-on, bolt-off component that breaks in the cars. They're just
Kelvin Jones. Porsche. Oh, no. Corvette in the fence in the background. Ray Narkowitz has dinged the Armco.
He's also in this field, sitting down in 11th. Wood spins and he's off and into the gravel. He'll struggle to get this car moving, keeps the foot in it. And Craig Lowndes just breathing down your neck like that for this long. Scotty Taylor now taking a right at turn 11 and doing a bit of lawn clipping. In a flash of black. And then in the Pro-Am battle, Miles and Emery.
Oh, wow.
Synchronised spinning here at Sandown. That's a new Olympic sport coming this summer at turn 2. This time on the other side.
It didn't even look like getting turned in, did it?
Uh-oh.
All the lock in the world turned on. It's not going to stop. The tyres catch it. They do.
Not too bad.
Check. He'll lift it.
All about the switchback here. It's rival oils, Castrol, Valvoline, it's BRM and GRM, and around goes Randall. Off into the fence. No, he misses the fence. He hit the signs, he hit the grass, he stayed off the Armco. Unbelievable.
And behind the wheel of car 36. And Craig just a little bit conservative, perhaps on the inside.
Oh, all by himself. Murray into the fence. It bounces cleanly off the tyre wall.
Guys, just letting you know, the conditions are definitely getting heavier. The rain is starting to really come down and teams are looking at the tyres. So who knows what's going to happen next.
This track, often the one where everything happens. And then this is Michael Armand. How's the save? So it goes backwards, stops it spinning, gets on the throttle, first gear, there's a little bit of bouncing contact, helps push the car forward.
Plus this now at the bottom of the hill. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's awkward. Sam Shahini to the back of Ben Stack.
They're wide. Lowndes slips up and Lowndes is gone. Tried to pull the car hard left. And is that a free kick to his teammate? Now up to second. Lowndes is sliding backwards through the infield. Now Harry Jones is off.
Waterfalls and the bridges that are there. This might tell us what happened to Tomo. Was his nickname down in the paddock, original nickname, and he backed it in. And lucky to keep it. He had to go through the gravel trap on the edge, but lucky to keep it out of there.
Extend that gap. Now what happened at the hairpin? Coming in hot.
Just locked the rears and the Bar Melbourne. And Clark in car number 15, running down in 15th position, has already everybody find a dance partner, and that's Clark doing 2 360s and almost hitting Charlotte Pointing in car 52. As I mentioned at the top of the call, the spinner at the back there, and that's Richardson.
He got into the back of Davies, I think.
And there's the first bonnet. And
sitting right in the cool spot to watch it was Anderson, and this is an unusual approach to turn 2.
Grant Thompson,
Simmons, the top 3. This is not going to go well. And where's this car going to stop? On the racing line, and takes 2 drivers with him. One was Josh Anderson, and that's still sitting in an awkward spot.
Chapman, Gowans and Garland. Here comes Gowans to make the move on the Castrol. He's coming in hot, and he drills Simmons. He came in hot, and now Simmons.
How has he got himself back into this one?
Garland.
No, now Garland's turn to go around.
And this time does the 360, grabs the gear and keeps going. But this race, if you get 2 wheels on there, more often than not, you'll end up on your side or on your roof. There's now contact between Davies and Wheel. And what happened here? It was Richardson.
He was having quite the moment on the way into turn 6.
Time we'll see him at the Gold Coast at the end of this season. Always love seeing him race on the streets of Surfers Paradise. And how about this for Heyman? Gets swept around and makes contact with Woods.
Watch the car in the middle. Was it a failure? Was there contact?
There's contact. So, man, was that lucky. not to roll. Decent enough contact with the wall. Here it is from Anderson's perspective.
It's rapidly at the end.
Oh, Sam just gets it stopped and spins at exactly the same spot where Mark Sini ended off in the gravel.
Turn number 1, and that's the 45, getting across Darcy Russell, who's back in the field. We didn't see Darcy out in the earlier race today. And I think several of these drivers have had a bit of confusion here, have decided to restart before play. This is further back in the field.
Good.
That's Jared Maggs in car 68.
Exit of turn 15, and very easy for the tyre pressure start to generate some tyre temperature. And then Walsh on the gas hard out of turn, a couple of times around.
7:20.5, and the fuel cap opens up too, just to slow the spins. And this camera we had during the Group N race showed it. He's heading straight towards the wall. So did he get off the curb?
I think he got the curb. Yeah, there's the curb. And that's just straight into concrete, no tyre barrier. I think he got onto the exit curb. We pick up a replay here of, I think it's Craig Jenner, who's having his very, very first circuit racing experience. And
Cold tyres and all. G. Cooper Murray was out there exceptionally quick. Matt Payne spun the rears. Now watch for drama here. There's drama already. Multiple cars caught up in this one. It started with one of the Sonic cars, and it ends with Dale Wood slamming the wall. Dave Russell's involved as well. Chaos on the front straight at the bend. Michael Arman.
Oh, it was David Wall. Went through the middle of himself and David Russell with Michael Arman on the outside. So Wall tried to get the hole that was rapidly diminishing between the two of them.
Wow.
This will show it.
Some of the guys at the back.
Who comes out the other side because it's really slipped off the racing line, and Matt Payne has found that out.
And he's taken the leader with him. It's
the last corner. So when this track was designed, there's a lot of... Oh, no!
So turn 3.
And here's another one.
just loses the rear, actually tries to get out of the way. And, gets out of the dirty stuff, gusses it up, and around she goes.
It is really... Did he have an issue? The replay might tell us the story. This is the same spot. We just saw Mags have half a spin.
At the bend in the new specification unit, just runs a little wide off the exit of turn 12, and we saw earlier one of the Mags cars just picked.
Doing a lot of testing with this team, the state level racing in New South Wales, so that roller coaster ride down the hill, turn 7, turn 8, turn 9. He got the car turned in, but he was about a metre wide off the apex. So missed the clipping point there, and the rear end let go. All that weight hanging out over the rear axle. Can have all the sticky Michelins and rear downforce in the world, but you're still going to spin. And that's what happened to Dean. So that's unfortunate, but on debut, loving his time in Painted Dixon Carrera Cup Australia. And cool to see Wall Racing, team from Sydney, continuing to build their programs for the lead of the class. Went up the inside of Jeff Emery, just a little bit too deep, and did that all on his own. The move was on, but just... And then this Pancioni on Fallon. Oh, Jackson saw the opportunity, had a big dive, but a little bit too ambitious, perhaps.
Oh, Dale Wood. Oh.
So we go back and have a look. No, he's having a battle with Mark Sini. Just went too deep into turn 1. So the tyres are hanging on late in this Enduro Cup. He's got the inside front locked. He's going to run wide, and he's going to spin.
And he might just stay there. Down at turn 1 is the scene. Tried to stay off the Hallmark Porsche as best he could. Sort of jumped on the grenade somewhat on that curb.
Turn 5.
That's the Paul Morris trick.
Yep, rears locked up. The way he went, he, as you mentioned, he competed in the Fink race last weekend. Actually finished 11th overall. And as you mentioned, having a bit of fun on the dirt, but obviously got going again. He'll learn from that mistake, and there's no doubt. He actually set the fastest sector at that point, which now Paul Morris has taken over.
Good start so far. Door left open here by Casey. Contact with White, and he's going to spin in front of the group and will drop to the tail.
Does a great job. Well, everyone they're now closing up the back of Morris to make it 1, 2, 3, and that's really close. Oh no,
Will!
Really?
And it was the landing that caused it. You know what? They're tough trucks.
Contact.
Yeah, that's what started it, and it's just made the truck come in awkward. And this is very similar to Jake Kostecki's crash at Barbagallo a few years ago, coming down of turn number 1. Here it is from behind. So he clipped the curb, went to make the move on the 121, contact which sent it awkward across the ramp, and barrel rolls along, lands back on all 4 wheels. He can drive it back to the paddock at least. They're tough, they're robust, but they have their limits.
How many was that? About 5 rolls? I'm trying to count them. It happened so quick. Now he comes straight out of the fink, same as Paul Wheel. So a little bit different than being on the dirt. They're on the bitumen. And Shea Davies is down the inside of Nash and he turns him.
Oh, and White with no exact right time. These trucks being higher and bigger do punch a big hole in the air, don't they? Oh, contact!
Down the inside of Nash. More contact. Poor old Nash is getting hit from
positions.
Yep, certainly held up. Here we go. There's a replay now that we haven't caught. Kurt Kostecki into the back of Zane Goddard, running up into the hairpin at turn 6.
Yeah, thanks. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Charlie. Down in the pits with Anton De Pasquale as we go back to the final sector. There's contact on the main straight. That was Ingle on the dude against the concrete wall on the left-hand side. And guess who's going to lead? Richardson and Morris.
No.
And there's some payback, and that's been years in the making.
It's up to 7, I think. Yes, it is. Yep.
Yeah,
lucky not to make the fence. Oh, he did, just slightly.
It was off the bumper of the local legends Commodore of Fabian Coulthard. And meanwhile, at turn 1, Jack Smith getting together. I think that was Brady Kostecki.
Number 11. So that's Richardson going along the distance. So, yeah, it's a bit more of a small incident. I'm not going to guess on how many rolls that time because I was highly criticised for that one at Darwin.
We might have a rear shot of it here too, mate. It looks like it's just locked the rears on the way in and then it's just gripped up on the side grip. It's just turned itself over and barrel rolled a few times. A nasty couple of rollovers there and we've seen the driver get out, so that's great news. But certainly a lot of bite on the car and it just pitched itself over.
It's the sound of it on the bitumen too. That's in real time and landing hard on its roof.
But also mowing over the curbs. I mean, we see Supercars use a lot of curb as well, but Paul Will,
no.
huge. Milbert's got in the back. Going to fly up or end up in the cabin or something, but you see dudes all over it. Oh, he's locked the rears.
Oh, no.
He's put him in front of Shea Davies. Spun the dude around.
That was an awkward incident.
Worth up the inside, we see that. He's through, is he? Yeah, he's through. So that looks like it might be separate, is it? Or is there something going on? No, there's something going on. Oh. 2 separate incidents, actually. Out the same place, and heavy contact for a lot of cars there. Big, deep damage. So we see here, Holdsworth gets up the inside of Crawford. Does he get it stopped? So we can't pick up that one.
Whoa.
And then, wow, we've bounced it over the curb there.
That was Zaid Tones in the 27.
Yeah, that one was never really going to work out. Ben Gomasol and Holly Espray.
Hold that one and show it in rounds to come.
If you don't mind, lounge around the outside.
Big. Around he goes with Luke Gilden. In a pretty dramatic finale down on the Gold Coast. Here goes Cooper Murray. Shows the nose, there's contact. He turns him round. The Michelin Juniors come together.
If I look in the back top left corner of your screen, he's gone around. I couldn't quite see if he had a helping hand, but he's ended up infield on the grass and not where he wanted to be.
This week into that same corner.
Seen a bit of that. Another replay of Gomasol. Oh,
no.
Too deep. Turn 2. Oh, they've been into the wall.
He took the braking marker with him.
And then, yes. So something's happened earlier than that, clearly. That was a party in that one down at turn 2, but this one, just turn 5 getting the best of him. Overcorrected, tank slapper.
Strange scenario yesterday where the top 4 drivers in the championship all failed to score a point. Which that was a big one. And that's...
Today, aggressive moves. Speaking of aggressive, Simon Fallon. Oh, no, gets into the back of Craig Lowndes. So exit of turn 3. Oh,
no. Oh, that's a big shame for Sam Shaheen. So Flax just lost the rear out of turn 3. Flax spun the car rolling backwards. Sam Shaheen. Oh, that's an unfortunate accident for Sam. He was just trying to thread the needle through a gap that was closing.
how was the impact into the fence? Matt, have a listen.
Record this morning in very favourable conditions, and that's Hughes has nosed it into the tyre barrier.
Up the inside. Oh, that's just not ideal when you're coming back through the field.
Already, that's incredible. Good job, Aaron Seaton. He's got the inside front lock. Does he get it pulled up? No! Big contact with Angelo Mazouris. Fence, and I would say you are 100% right. There's the rear wing let go.
Oh my gosh.
You instantly go from 250 kilos of downforce on the rear tyres to nothing in an instant like that, and that is a very graphic example. 7, and look at the gap now Jada's got. It was 1.1 seconds when they crossed the line the previous lap. It's out to 2.5. Charter up the inside of Missouri's contact, boys, and Missouri's, and they both nosed it into the wall. 2 wide through 5 and then contact, and that was the damage to Aaron Seaton's car. That sends him into Perkins, and Perkins heads off into the grass and out to the tyre barrier on the outside of turn 6.
Wow.
That could have been a lot larger than what it ended up ultimately being.
Gee, good save from both of them.
Yeah.
How's the car control? Jackie needed to use just a little bit more of the outskirts of the circuit that was available. But got away with one. And then, just to top it all off...
Chad, too much room. Oh no! It's around, you don't want to be here.
This is going to be big.
Do not want to be here.
Wham! Multiple cars, Matt McLean involved. Both.
Everingham has a look up the inside. Not sure if he's up there enough or not. That's for someone else to decide. But then when Zach Best is sideways across the track here, it's a blind exit. The drivers behind will not know. A little bit of contact. Morris is trying to get up the inside. Probably not actually up there enough. Contact. And right here, I thought there was drama. Cannot see Sip's car at all. So look at that, driving into the smoke, as you called it, Chad. Cold trickle style. Yeah, he goes to the other side. Anderson goes to the other side. Reef McCausey goes in the middle. So...
You're approaching through here at nearly 200 k's an hour, and you've just got to guess at that point right there. Whoa, which way?
Where is the race car? And we'll pick up what happens here with Chris Smird. He comes in pretty high. Oh! Looks like he was locking the rears, and as it went around, just leaped Toyota for creating that opportunity. And I know Clay certainly. Whoa! Clay's back it into turn 6, and around he goes. The car starts to get that tank slap, but you see he's lost the rear. Then those bumps on the outside of Corporate Hill, just in that grass, upset the rear of the car. Inertia takes over. Go all the way back to the karting. Oh, we've got one around here.
Through Sam.
Turn 3, which is a bit of a strange one.
Claiming his first pole position of his career earlier today.
This is where it's going to be difficult. Cold tyres.
Oh, long way off for Mags.
Mags is absolutely out of control. He had it going into turn 2. Now, I don't know what happened to Harris, because he actually looked like he slowed up there, whether he was trying to readdress it. Woods has
gone.
A big spin on his own. Around the back of big contact, both of them spinning.
Where does McLean go? Splits them and goes around the outside. Harris has gone around, and into the lead goes Borg.
He's done
This is awesome to watch. Not so if you're in the cockpit of these two cars. Flash between Harris and Crick. We saw it in car from Matt McLean. He goes left, right, I'll go right. And while that was happening, Borg went down the inside on the traditional line.
Hamburger with this, looks like a soft serve cone with it.
It's race control.
Oh, Sweeney sideways.
Does the tank slap it the other way? Yes, it does, and he's got a mate with him as well.
This is wild.
This is wild. This is dangerous right here. Oh, big damage. Clay Richards in there, Ben D'Alia. They had nowhere to go, and that is massive. There's an exhaust out the back. There's a wheel. See here, Sweeney was the first one. He ran wide. D'Alia followed him effectively. And it was right here when they get this tank slapper. Sweeney goes around. D'Alia's still having, Shah's still having his tank slapper, and then back on the circuit. And look at the dust. Don't really know, and then nowhere to go for D'Alia, and then again for Clay Richards. So 2 innocent parties in that one, and just the speed that they carried. Actually,
Zach Bates at the start of one of these races. He has just been sublime on the start line, and Jackson's going nowhere, and he's clipped by Dalton. Gee, that could have been so much worse.
The weight distribution, very light as being a U configure. There she goes. She's having a nice big spin through turn 5. Manages to pull it up. But again, well, now we're
trying to make the inroads on Cameron Crick. And unfortunately, got a bit too close and unloaded the number 7, which dropped Crick back into a high-pressure battle on the way up to turn number 2. McLean down the inside. They're swamping Aaron Borg. And Jaden Maggs, he's doing good. Oh, just about to say he's doing good. He's unloaded.
Only his second flying lap. But I tell you what, this is Bugwiner, so like we saw with Purdy in practice earlier today.
Starting at the bottom and working away to the top. Let's see what's happened.
Just on the gear change, second to third. Snapped away cold tyre and backed it in to the concrete wall. Now here's a replay of Anderson. That is not the way to enter turn 1, Chad Nailon.
Reverse entry, drift style.
Yeah.
And that has just absolutely sent it.
The front splitter was broken at that point, so I think there's more to this story. Before we picked up that shot, does a nice job here of grabbing first gear and getting himself out of the gravel trap, but he's got bigger issues than that, with that front splitter all broken up.
That was a bizarre incident. So
on the outside of the Valvoline entries, they tiptoe their way through that first turn. Hearn gets sideways, gets a tank slapper. He's going to spin in front of the group of the cars here. Will they avoid him? No, they don't. How did he get away with that?
Best lap of the race, a 134.7. Here's a replay of...
He did well to recover that, considering it's a tyre wall on the right-hand side, and plenty of runoff space, isn't there, at Sydney Motorsport Park? Plenty of gravel traps, plenty of things.
And part of the reason for that is engineered this weekend.
Someone's having a massive moment. That's Hearn. Hearn's the second time he's going to hit the wall. 23, as they all squirm their way. Another car off in the background. Is that Mawson? Another wild moment. Now Mawson off the track. Nose first in this time. So Grice, we picked him up in the middle of turn number 1. Pulls across. There was going to be contact between the two. The workout. This is Golding bowling a massive wide. Is he going to spin? The answer is yes, right in front of Blake Purdy. At the same time, cars going through, smashing the polystyrene signs.
But if they all come out the other side, it's the important question. This again from head on up high. James Golding, so vastly experienced, won here the final round of the Gold Star earlier this year. Caught it, didn't catch it, caught it again. And everyone taking evasive action. Great heads-up awareness.
Do they? Just yes. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, we've got one around here at turn 1, Tim Blanchard.
Wow, that was a nerve-wracking moment. And the exact same thing happened to him in Towns.
Around the circuit, this is a replay.
The boot lifted up, he went off that fast. You see that?
A couple of 360s, and unfortunately went in backwards. Wipers going.
Wipers are flicked upside down.
There it is. It's almost like the NASCAR. Bit of aero.
The aero flaps on the roof opening up. That was pretty wild. Shows you how fast they're going, that once they turn around the...
Side of Warren Luff, you just see, just understeers a little bit wide. There's just a slight contact. And in these conditions, you don't need a lot to unsettle these cars, but there was a long way back. Big dive down in. This is turn 8. Boy. I think there'd be a bit of investigation.
Hayden's race would finish up down here in the fence at turn 1. This is exactly what happened. Out of the ballpark down there, and I wonder if there's something going on at the right front of that car as well after the contact. Heavy
is laid out here at Sydney, but let's have a look at this replay of Reef McCarthy at turn 1. Just did not make the corner at all. Actually didn't get much of the gravel trap either, and then just noses it into the top.
Student stuck down there in the fence, bringing out the red flag. There's implications for that, and this is the real-time vision. Thankfully nosed in there relative series.
So he's held it tight.
Wow, there's water there.
Yeah, to drive off the corner straighter, and yeah, got into that river, as you said, Chad. There was a heap of water there.
Here's what happened to Nathan Hearn, though, coming across the top of the hill. He was gone before he came into shot, and I don't think there was anybody around him there.
Good and forced error.
This is LaChalpo and Scatella at turn number 5. It was a busy first lap. I was about to say everybody was well behaved on lap number 1. 6 seconds. Here it is on his own, middle of the turn, and unloads the Precision Logistics entry right in front of Brook and Grice and Thornborough at the same time. So plenty of room on the outfield here. But the more this rain falls down, the more that's going to turn into... No need for the dark visors today, but gives the great angle of his eyes. As he looped around here in the middle of turn number 1.
There's nothing you can do about that.
Nope.
Just went.
And great recovery to get out of there, as we talked about during. That's Ben Barguana just arriving on the scene there in the Burson Garage entry. Car 71. This rain has not stopped for over 12 hours. That's Mary spinning.
And this is what happened to Macro. So over the hill. And just, yeah.
Good recovery.
And then at the end of the lap, that was really tight. He nearly caught it too, the 17-year-old. In the Anguston Motors entry, young rookie. Oh boy, yeah, from Warren Luff's point of view, you can see how slippy it is. Almost happened in slow motion.
Warren did a fantastic job there avoiding that car in front of him. His car 3 just goes backwards out of, or the exit of turn 1. comes to a rest. As you mentioned, that grass is just so slippery at the moment. It's not even slowing. It's almost like you speed up. And as a race driver, it's really daunting knowing that you're travelling so fast and you know that there's a tyre wall somewhere there to stop you. But unfortunately for him, he didn't make it that far. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. Just as they crest the hill. And that sent Danaher to the... There it is. Sent him left, straight through the bollard into the... Actually, it wasn't too bad in the sense that it kissed the wall side on. I actually thought it went nose in, but the way it looked...
His first lap as it continues on. This is the moment. Where's this down into turn 2? I think it is. Charter still got the rear wing attached at this point. Oh, contact with Missouri's in the mid part of the braking zone. And then that's where the wing goes into Ojeda,
who's still sitting 16th in the race.
Got himself out of that one.
Charter just got out of there. So Ojeda managed to keep that thing going. This is it from turn 2. How's the skate? Whack.
Big contact though to the side of Ojeda's car. Rear quarter panel busted off on that one, so that's got some damage. Matt Charter, obviously the rear wing's gone, the boot's bent up. So now we'll go on board and let's listen to Brock Feeney.
Go 3 wide down there at turn 1. There's no way that's going to work. Payne's off, Missouri's off. Payne's got a really big head of steam going, and he crunches the tyre barriers.
So around the outside of everyone, and then Payne just comes out of the gloom straight ahead, and Missouri's follows him. You can see him once he gets onto the old drag strip there. That's a burnout pad now. You are a passenger and into those tyre bundles.
Shades of Michael Caruso going through the tyre bundle
like that. But just look at the speed that Payne went off in the background. Fife, who tried to go around the outside at turn 1, that wasn't going to work. He ends up in the paddock. Policina in the background, he's off as well.
A pit exit. Let's find out how it happened. This is the next 888 car.
A little bit too much throttle, a little bit too early there. We stuck with that. I'd say the tyre's not much good anyway.
That's the third lockup that it had at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's gone in hard.
I think it might be going down maybe from that lockup, maybe.
It's had a hard life, that Dunlop hard tyre.
And all that dirt you see coming out of that car when it runs down to the last corner will be a little uncomfortable for the next few cars there until they clean that up. So as the cars run across it with the sticky tyres, they pick it up and they throw it off to the edge of the road. So while it looks, and it does look pretty bad, you know, 5 cars, 6 cars go past that, they'll start to clean the track up.
Maybe just broke.
The car will be 100% perfect for quality.
Beautiful. I know we want to let you go because you'll be busy here as he gets ready to leave the lane. Firstly, on the other cars in your squad, Joey Mawson knows.
Is there more to the story?
I'm going to say yes. Some contact.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a big enough hit. Jared Hughes in the AC Delco car.
Oh, it's actually toe out. So it's hit the front or the rear of the car. Can't see from that angle.
They're 11 seconds quicker in qualifying than what they were last time here back in 2019. So instantly quicker. And those raindrops some more. That's Jaden Maggs having a big moment. Now, yesterday in qualifying, watch the back here. And all on his own.
Yeah.
See the Yokohama licorice straps in the background as he laid it down. Did he keep it off the fence? I don't think so. One in, one out.
Yep. And a slightly short cub.
And when he was there, now let's
look
check
at
out
the rear wheel here.
So Bradley's prediction was that maybe the wheel had come off before he even arrived there, and there goes the wheel nut. There goes the wheel. Bradley, you're on it.
And unfortunately, that is a very, very hard hit and quite a tricky spot.
That was a nasty one.
Yeah. So if you look at the where the wheel is actually mounted on these cars, wow, look at that, and the damage in the back of that car that we can see now.
I mean, it absorbed the energy brilliantly. When you check it out from that angle, you can see the energy absorption almost like a crash test. And Declan safe inside that car, able to jump straight out, which was the best news. Spots anywhere on the tour that you could have that happen. And in real time, it's a shocker.
Yeah, because, you know, across that part of the circuit, there is no room for error.
Here in Supercars, let's check out Nash Morris, who's got it really crooked at the chase, and he's gone. Championship leader for Super 3, spills it at the chase.
Do you go out hard early and bank several couple of laps, or do you split it up and put new tyres on? That is an umbrella that will need some new rubber by the end of this session.
Wow, where is that going?
Hopefully it blows across to the Repco garage on top of the hill.
It's going to be a bit of chase at the shade, so we'll have some good grip through there with the UV off the circuit for about 5 seconds as that brolly works its way across the track. Hopefully it's going to stay there. So we just need someone to go out there and just plant it in the middle of the gravel trap down there. There's the look inside race control. He'll be perplexed at what they're seeing at the chase. We had a safety car in the great race in 2014 for a footy that was bouncing down Conrod. You never know what you're going to get. Kangaroos, trees, but that is new. An umbrella. Just need a bucket and a spade and...
rounds.
Here we go. It's a long run out there to get this, isn't it?
And that is a big workout because that gravel in that sand trap is as deep as any gravel in any sand trap in the world. I walked the track early in the weekend, Chad, and it was a little bit damp underfoot, and you sink down into that. It does a very good job of stopping cars, but he's worked hard.
He's worked very hard there, and if we get a little bit of a breeze, he's going to go full Mary Poppins down there at the chase. Wow. It would have been a critical moment there. Do you decide to collapse the umbrella to do the run back, or do you run with it as the full parachute mode?
Well, it is a day where you need to slip, slop, slap. So he's actually used it for a little bit of inadvertent sun protection while he runs back.
Not a bad little umbrella, that.
Oh, and the session goes red flag with 2 minutes and 30 to go. So the best lap times are great. We can tell you the grid for race 1 later today, but...
It's time from Tim Brook. Kyle Girton, who was third in yesterday's race, remains...
Oh, the teammates! Contact! The Kubota teammates have come together. McCallum. That was a little earlier for Thomas.
The veterans, and that's a wild moment at the cutting. He was lucky to save that one. Zach Michelle.
And Golding, as we get underway, Hearn from that second row. They're side by side with Joey Mawson, but Golding has contacted the background with Macro, and he's going to find the wall before we get to turn number 1.
His car was on an angle on the start line. He didn't get into his grid box correctly. So he had Blake Purdy in front. Just gets on the brakes now. He's up behind Jordan Boy's car. It wasn't so much aero, was it? It was just locking both the front brakes, and 100% fortunate to not cannon into the back of car 88. That could have been a 3-car crash.
Is there the number of different tyre strategies? Oh, Ryle looking down the inside.
And they've made contact, and he's found the wall on the...
Big impact.
Very big impact, because we don't have too much more time
McCorkindale's
to add.
over on the grass. So he's got in there a little bit hot, and he's turned in a little bit early, and the thing's drifted over onto the grass.
Here we go.
Yeah, car's getting a bit loose here. Probably going a bit faster than he'd like. We saw Jaden Ojeda do this yesterday, and he actually picked it up and caught it, but no such luck here.
Did he get away with it, at least without hitting anything? That's the question.
I think he did.
There's the answer.
Wow.
Oh, no, just at the end there, the left front.
Yeah. I don't think many people spin a car there with that sort of damage, but now you've got to sit here and how lucky is he?
Pair of teenagers just sneaking through on the inside without hitting him.
Now let's have a look what happened to Aaron Seaton here. I think he gets on the grass on the outside and fires across the road here. Wow. Unforgiving. What a pity. He's been doing a great job in this car.
He is flying at the moment. Further back, this is going to be really tight. There's contact. And there goes David Russell. And he's got it pointed in the right direction. That was a
car and lose the air on your front wing. Oh, just caught the end of it. Sort of glancing blow for Yoshi. Cars on cold tyres. Now cast our mind back. Mawson trying to go around the outside of Nathan Hearn, and the lightest of contacts on the left-hand side.
Let's see if we can unwind exactly how it's all started. Jackson, Richards, drama at the cutting. From Richo's point of view.
So that tells that story really clearly, doesn't it, Chad? Richo's turned in. Little tag in the left rear, and around he goes. Ooh. And points to exactly the culprit. He goes, okay, Jackson, I will strike you down on my list of people to come and see at the end of this race. Now, this is going to tell Kai Allen. So here he is. Let's have a look at him. And that's what I sort of spotted early on in the short bit that we saw. You see he had a gap.
Man from Adelaide. It's just a failure. I wonder if contact on the opening lap in the argy-bargy of turn 1 and turn 2. The motor repair's cutting, and this is going to be very hairy. Someone's going to have to lift out of this. They don't, though. And into the fence goes McBride, and he goes in hard. Two badly damaged Porsches. The thing that took the impact there after the bumper bar was the crankshaft on a 3.8 litre Porsche Flat 6. Launched it up into the wall.
Eastern suburbs. And Murphy, what's happened there?
Yeah, he's got in a little bit deep, jumped on the brakes, locked the rears, spun the car.
Two cars in different classes.
Yeah. I think you might be serving a 5-second penalty as well in a minute.
Okay.
And here we go now, let's watch here. So he's braking as late as he can. Because he's turning in so early, he's braked about where he normally and locked the fronts, but I felt like he was going to get around. Matt Payne has tried.
The other day, he spoke like a true politician. He had a couple of points to get.
That's Ian McAllister in the middle of all of that. And I think Ted, who we saw earlier going around at the chase. Oh, no. This is exactly the same spot the 321 was parked up the other day. Second place.
This was our first time going into the chase. And that was Teb there. You can see the back just getting loose, and he can't keep it in a straight line. And
through there. It's shades of the Kevin Bartlett crash. It doesn't roll, but it hits more or less, I think, in the same spot, doesn't it? And then across to the other side of the track.
Just that transition of the weight, isn't it? Just too far to the left and onto the ripple strips.
Raw concrete left-hand side, so just up on that curb, and it spat his number 50 over into the fence. So John Martin at the tail of the field, the Japanese driver Katayama, as we go down to the chase for the first time. Heard close. Oh, this is a big one through the chase here for boys. Just pulls it up. Oh, man, we've got more cars involved, but it's bad enough. It's off the track.
And Mawson had a look. He got a really good toe on, oh my goodness me. He got a huge toe on Jordan Boys. He looked down the inside, but there was no room there, and Boys turned across. And he's going to be the unwitting recipient of a car coming across his path in a dust storm.
Oh, that's 290 k's in the approach into that corner. 2 360s, the boys, and splits in between Mawson and Purdy, but watch for the 28 BR.
Run through turn 1, and Lockie was compromised as they ran up Mountain Straight. The gap had actually breached out a little bit now.
Oh boy, Kai Allen's car's on fire here in a big, big way. He's got to get that stopped. They'll be on the radio to him. Oh, look at that. It's just put itself out. That's amazing.
For the minute. I could only imagine they've made their way out of the dipper. Let's see if we can... Well, Bloxham's already around there. And then everything after that is a byproduct, isn't it, Chad? And unfortunately for Kai Allen, it looks like he's just made heavy contact in the front of that car, and it's dislodged an oil line or a fuel line or something, but that's a fair flame out. Now, this will tell the story, so it's Bloxham up ahead. We're on board with Richards. Let's see if we can dissect this a little bit, Chad. Oh, so it's Bloxham, just lost the rear at the dipper. Was wide, didn't make the apex. Steve Richards has read the play incredibly well. Little wrong slot there for Richo, but we'll let him...
Oh, Vidal, watch out for Vidal, here he comes. He's not going to be able to stop this car. There was a hip and shoulder there in love, and he somehow hits the gap. Oh my goodness me. It started at the kink, it finishes in the gravel.
Championship point of view, I've run out of cricket analogies after that, I'm done. That was 10 miles, well, Mark Sini has a spin.
Great stuff. Check out Zane Moss doing some lawn mowing. There's contact, and Jade is gone. That'll do it. Surely the championship is over before we even got to turn 1. That's crazy. We saw Ellie having her moments earlier.
That's one of her indiscretions. Look at that car up on 2 wheels. So she's hit that curb. She's got in a bit narrow.
The queue is just coming down the hill. The queue is just coming down the hill now.
So that's Paul Scalzo telling Ellie where the queue of cars is, because she's going to go ripping through the top part of the circuit and doesn't want to arrive on the scene where the slower cars are. So that's pretty clever. We have had that happen to the Brad Jones racing cars before.
We have.
I can't imagine you saw the fun.
Oops. Let's see what happened. Oh, we've hit the wall. Exactly like Paul Radisich.
Yeah. Oh, man,
and
that
he's
was
hit it hard.
big.
So I'm guessing right now he can't stop that car. So the speed that's going, the throttle's stuck open, and when you do that, it's really your initial reaction.
Helped around there. Yeah, so there's two cars on the inside of Harry. I didn't catch who that was on the extreme inside there, Chad, but contact on the extreme inside. And this is on board with Harry. And he was aware, you could see where he'd placed his car. He was out quite
tough, but they can only cop so much. Just like that one there for Craig Thornton at the elbow. Local yellows used to be able to keep the race going, which is fantastic. And, that was a pretty stiff hit.
and a really good job there.
Good driving.
Oh, no, contact. And they get into each other, both into the gravel trap.
This is big. Another hold your breath moment. There's more contact. They're both off the road at high speed. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. He's into the wall. It's all over. Fired Cameron across into the wall. This will show it.
So we needed 290 k's an hour through the middle of the chase. See where the wall is on the left-hand side. It actually arcs back in to send the car away from having to head on with the wall at the other end. It's done its job, but heavy damage to both cars.
When I call it these crazy races, this is what happened to the Victorian.
Right side tyres in the dirt.
His teammate Nick McBride cheering him on from pit lane. This tagged. Oh, Emery backs it in. He gets it down the inside. You're kidding me? Shaheen spins. Emery wins.
No way.